Today I'm going to show you how to paint with tempera paint. Stay inside your shapes and wash your brushes. Oh, and don't forget the most fun part, mixing colors. Hello, my talented artists. And if you haven't already done it, subscribe! Landscapes are made up of shapes, geometric, but mostly organic shapes. Organic shapes are natural, and landscapes are natural. Here we can see Etel Adnan painting in her studio. She was a Lebanese-American poet and visual artist. Here is Lebanon. In another video I said she was Syrian, but I was wrong. Her dad was Syrian. When we studied her landscapes, we noticed that Etel Adnan used a lot of organic shapes. And she didn't use that many shapes. Her paintings were simple. We also noticed that she used whatever colors she wanted. They didn't have to be realistic. And I want you to be thinking of the same thing. So check your sketch on your paper and make sure that you do not have too many shapes. I think we decided 7 shapes or less. And when you decide what colors to mix, remember, you can choose any colors you want. You are going to begin your painting with your own personal egg carton with white and yellow. And then the whole table is going to have this big egg carton with all the different colors. I want you to begin by choosing one of the colors from the table paint to mix with your yellow or your white. So I think I'm going to pick a little pink to mix with my yellow. And when you mix colors, you really have to stir and stir and stir and mix and mix and mix. I want my yellow to be a little more different, so I am going to add a little bit more pink to it. This should make it a rosier yellow. Let's see if I like this. I'll just keep mixing until I get a color that I'm happy with and I want to use for one of my shapes. An important part of painting is getting the paint where you want it to go. And in this painting, we want to make sure that our color stays inside our shape. So I'm gonna paint this big shape first. First thing I want you to do is paint the outline of the shape. And you can see I'm carefully going along the outline, and when I start to run out of paint, guess what? I can turn my paintbrush over because the paint kind of got pushed up there, so I can use the back before I scoop more paint. But if your paint starts to run out and you've already flipped it over, it is time to get more. When you're dipping into your paint, don't let it go too far up your brush. You just want it on the hair part. And you don't want too much like that. That's too much. So let's scrape it off a little bit. And then we're gonna continue and go over the parts where the paintbrush was running out of paint. Have I made an outline of my whole shape? Have I? That's right, I have not. So I need to keep outlining. And I'm even gonna outline the edge. I have a messy paper underneath, so I can kind of paint halfway on my paper. And halfway on the messy paper. It's okay if it's not perfect. If I have too much paint on my brush, I might sort of twirl it in the middle of my shape because I know that shape's going to be all one color. Once you have painted the outline all around the edge, you can start making a wall, a little thicker wall of color to make sure that you're not going to paint outside. And now I have a very thick wall all around the edge, and I can paint the inside to fill it in. I have to be a detective and find any white spots. I can move my brush in circles like this. I could move my brush in waves or bumpy line like this. I can make straight brush strokes. These are all called brush strokes. That's the way you move your brush. You need to cover all the white. Have I covered all the white? That's right, I have not. So I need to really aim my brush for that white. And if I have a big blob of paint like that, I don't need to get more paint. I can actually scrape off the paint and spread that. Once you have filled in all the white, I want you to look carefully, and if you see a lump of paint like that, I want you to smooth it. So be a real detective. Look carefully and smooth your paint and find all the white spots. Now, I am ready to change colors and I need to wash my brush. And I want to tell you how to wash your brush. You are going to pretend that you are a little fish sweeping the bottom of your bowl. And you're gonna go sweep, 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 like that. Now I wanna show you with a clear container. So I'm gonna press my brush on the bottom of the bowl because I want it to get all clean. And I'm not gonna go tap, tap, tap because the water sprays out everywhere. I'm going to press my brush onto the side of my bowl, and if it's a bowl, you'll want to hold on to the bowl so you don't tip it. So press it, and to get more water out, you can always wipe it on your paper. Wiping it on your paper also gives you a clue if you've washed all the paint out of the brush, and I have because my paper looks pretty darn clean aside from all the other messy dry paint. I'm ready for my next color. Okay, I can see that my table paint is blocking the view of my painting, so I'm just gonna move that. Yikes, earthquake. Time to mix another color. This time, I am going to add a color into the white. So let's see, which color do I want? I think I'll add some green into my white. Whoa, that is really light green. I want my green a little bit darker. Once you've mixed the color that you want, it's time to outline your shape again. That is really clumpy. That is too much paint on there. So I want to scrape off a little bit so that I'm not getting paint all over the place. So now I need to outline my shape. I'm gonna make the sky green because I can use any colors I want. So I'm carefully outlining my sky shape. When you get to a shape that you've already painted, you can overlap just a little bit. Don't leave a line of white in between shapes. And remember, once you've used up all your paint on the brush, flip it over. There's gonna be some paint on the other side. I'm gonna spread these lumps because I can already see that I had some lumps. The white paint is kind of thick, so it's definitely gonna create more lumps. I wanna go all the way to the edge of my paper. And now I'm ready to paint inside my shape. And I bet you are excited to get painting. Just remember, our painting goals are paint each shape one color, keep the color inside the shape, cover all the white spots, and smooth out the paint blobs. When it is time to clean up, I want you to just put your brush in the bowl of water And then you're gonna pick up your painting carefully and put it into the drying rack. Don't put your painting on top of anybody else's painting or they'll stick and they might rip. Let's get painting.